on the podcast, we will talk about NXT TakeOver Portland, the NBA All-Star Weekend, the XFL Week 2, the NHL trade deadline coming up on Monday. Brendon will fix the Giants. We'll talk about where quarterbacks may end up in this next season of the NFL. We'll pick a prospect, including Thaddeus Moss, Tyler Johnson, and Shane Lemieux. And then we'll talk about our nominees for the Hall of
Duncan's
Fame.
French there.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll start off here with a bang. And the NXT TakeOver Portland. Rate it a 9.5 out of 10. It was a really good pay-per-view.
What else is new with NXT though?
That's very true.
NXT is always just freaking solid.
I don't want to say concerned, but I'll say concerned. I was concerned that they moved it to Sunday, especially when the Sunday that they moved it to is competing with NBA All-Star Weekend.
Right. And Vince McMahon's own baby, the XFL.
Right. And so I was a little concerned with that, but I think it probably still did well. The Keith Lee versus Damon Dijakovic, it was a really good match. They got standing ovations at the end. Keith Lee retained that North American Championship. He's definitely, if you didn't think he was a star before this match, going up against a big guy like Dijakovic, and just the match that they had, they're both going to be big stars. Give it 5 years. Keith Lee will be older, I guess, because he's kind of older now. But give it 5 years, and if they're not both main eventing on Raw or SmackDown, I'd be kind of surprised at that.
Keith Lee might be an early favorite to win the Rumble for next year.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Should have won this year. Should have won.
Nah, I had no issue with the Scottish psychopath. I had no issue with that. In fact, I was glad he won it.
Oh, me too.
And I was going to go over Brock at Mania, so it's going to be lit.
Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor was exactly what you thought it'd be.
It was probably a wrestling feast.
Yeah. And it led to a turn at the end, which I found really interesting.
Did Finn Balor finally turn heel?
Finn Balor is the heel right now.
Oh, is he? I haven't watched any NXT in a while. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're all good. But
see, I think Finn Balor always should have been a heel because he can use that demon persona.
So better.
I think he is too.
But I don't know.
Rename him to Prince Devlin. That's what you need to do.
Well, he says the prince is back, but he hasn't capitalized on it.
Finn has always been a tease. Always.
Yeah, always.
I actually have his shirt. So when Vince McMahon wasn't gonna give him a title shot because he didn't think he was over enough.
Yeah.
I actually have the shirt where it's like forever, and the red is over.
Oh yeah.
I dead ass bought that shirt because I'm like, because Finn's my favorite wrestler, so I was just like, fuck you, Vince.
I love Finn Balor.
I do too. He's great.
I think it's really awesome that he's also back in NXT because he gets like triple the amount of time he'd get.
Exactly. Again, I'm hoping once Triple H takes over one day that Finn Balor will get back the title that he never lost.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice.
Tegan Knox versus Dakota Kai in a street fight was really awesome. It was really brutal for the women's street fight. I wasn't expecting, they took out chains and was whipping them with chains. I wasn't expecting it.
Love that. And
then the botch at the end, Raquel Gonzalez came out, was his prize, and knocked Tegan off of the top rope onto a table, except for instead of breaking the table, she hit her head on the back of the table and fell on the ground. It was a good match before that, besides the botch, but it was still very effective. The Broserweights beat the Undisputed Era.
Love the Broserweights.
Oh, how many fish can Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fry could fry fish? It's amazing. It's a t-shirt now.
Is it actually?
Yeah. Matt Riddle said it. Oh, he got the whole crowd into it. They did the whole sing-along thing where they have a fish and they have the words on the screen popping as he says it. Oh, it was so good. They really capitalized on it. It was amazing. But it was weird to see them. I was very glad they took the championships. It was weird to see almost a changing in the tide for the Undisputed Era as they lost it.
Yeah.
But it was lit. It was very fun. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair and Ripley had a hell of a match. The end of the match, our girl Charlotte Flair, the Queen, arrived in NXT TakeOver to claim that she was challenging Rhea Ripley for her NXT Championship at WrestleMania. Not at NXT TakeOver, at WrestleMania. It's amazing to see. Especially that they did it so flawlessly, like just putting the NXT Women's Championship on WrestleMania like nothing happened. But I am curious to see what they're gonna do without a Women's Championship match at NXT TakeOver.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they'll figure it out. I think I don't know who. I don't know. Well, maybe what they could do is they could just have a women's like fatal 4-way or something. Winner challenges.
That could be
the winner at Mania.
That could be
a fun thing.
I don't know. It will be very interesting to see. In the main event, Tommaso Ciampa versus Adam Cole was amazing.
I can imagine.
Hella craziness. They did a spot where one of them hit their heads on the back of the announce table, where Ciampa hit the back of his neck on the announce table.
Yeah.
At the end, and with his neck, he just had neck surgery and everything. Like not that long. It was amazing. It was very brutal. At the end of the match, the Undisputed Era came and got involved, as they do.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter. Tommaso Ciampa came. He got rid of Undisputed Era. The ref got knocked out. And all of a sudden, Tommaso Ciampa goes for the NXT Championship. Johnny Gargano holding the championship to give to Tommaso Ciampa. He pulls it back and whacks Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh, tease.
Oh, it's so good. They're going back to the DIY rivalry.
Love that. And that's what they should, because Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Wrestling, I remember watching that match. I was quite satisfied with how it went. Still one of my favorite matches I've ever seen in any wrestling was NXT TakeOver Toronto, the Revival versus DIY.
Yes.
For those that have never seen it, stop what you're doing.
Go watch it.
Go to WWE Network for only $9.99. Your first month is free.
Get WrestleMania.
Get WrestleMania for free, completely free, and go to what year was that? 2017, 18?
2017. Yeah.
2017. Go to 2017. Go to NXT TakeOver Toronto and just watch that match, and then come back here. You will not be disappointed.
No, it's great. Tag team wrestling doesn't sell, Vince McMahon says, apparently. That match sells.
It's literally just, I think any wrestling match can sell. It's just a matter of if you're willing to put the effort in to make it work.
That's true.
That's how I view it. Because I've seen some pretty bomb-ass tag team matches.
Oh,
I refer to WrestleMania X7?
There you go.
Just saying.
Or even any of the Usos.
New Day Usos are always good.
Any revival match ever.
Right. Any revival NXT match.
Any Young Bucks match.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just, I don't know. I've always been a fan of tag team wrestling.
Love tag team.
You know who else was pulling up?
Pull up. Splash.
Bam Adebayo.
Bam.
Pulling up.
Bam.
He won the skills challenge.
Yeah, he won the skills here, and that was fun to watch. All the big men won. Every single one.
Yeah.
And it was crazy to see. Especially when people were like, these big guys, they don't stand a chance.
The NBA is changing. Going back to a big man league now.
There we go.
Big man get paid.
The weekend was fun overall. The 3-point challenge, I was surprised with how bad Trey did. He got like an 11 eliminated first round.
Well, that's because he's not as good as last year's winner, Devin Booker.
Devin Booker didn't win either.
I know
He almost did.
Yeah, almost.
He should have won.
Very came down to the last shot.
Yeah, that was
literally the last shot of the game.
Can't make things more entertaining.
Oh, I know. Could you?
I feel like Buddy
healed.
So I almost said Field. That would have been bad. Buddy healed.
Considering that's
he was like, I'm gonna just keep myself like a couple points down, so this last ball, money ball.
Buddy Hield's a solid player too. He just plays for the Kings.
Yeah,
they're a bad team.
Everyone thought they were gonna be contending for the West.
Yeah, go back in the archives.
Listen to that hot take.
Well, I mean, Sacktown has some good young names.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Heald, Fox, Bagley.
Wow, you putting Bagley in there?
I mean, I kind of hesitated, but I'll put him in there so it makes it seem like a long list.
There you go.
Poor Sacktown.
Yeah.
Sacktown is always going to just get sacked.
Yeah. Until Sacramento Republic start to play in MLS, they're gonna take that town over.
Yeah, but they're probably not gonna wear Sacktown jerseys.
You never know.
You never know. That'd be lit if they did.
I've heard that soccer jerseys are the most comfortable jerseys.
They really are.
They look comfortable.
Would you like to try one on, Brendon, to see for yourself?
Yeah, we gotta get my reaction live.
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
pod.
But we'll keep talking. Yeah.
Oh, but we can keep talking about the skills.
Yeah, 3-point contest was great.
Yeah. Still sad D-Book didn't win it. D-Book should have won it. Yeah, that's not how that works, but
I don't know. I really like the addition of the Mountain Dew drop shot or whatever you did call it. To make it worth 5 points. That was cool. It was cool to see how many people could make a shot that deep. People who made it twice. It was cool to see too.
I'm not affiliating with this team, though.
Why
the
not?
Minnesota United is Brendon's official MLS team.
He is committing to the Loons right now as we speak. As he is putting on the jersey.
And welcome to the team.
And welcome. You are now a Loon.
This is comfortable. The head was small, so it's difficult to put on, but like wearing this around.
I'm not gonna lie, Brendon, you look pretty good in Minnesota black and blue. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's gray.
I know, but like it's Minnesota black and blue.
That's what we're gonna leave you.
Come on, you.
So we're talking about basketball.
Basketball.
Sorry, we just got a kick out of this little.
Aaron Gordon got robbed.
Should have been a tie.
No,
it should not have. Aaron Gordon should have won.
How many dunks were there? 4?
4
to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon, 50.
Imagine
50,
dunking
50.
over Giannis. Or no, Taco Fall.
And
Giannis, and you still lose.
Yeah.
Grrr.
Chance the Rapper.
And now he said he's not competing anymore because it's bull crap. And it really is bull crap.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't either.
He should have 2 championships right now.
Yeah.
He should be a 2-time dunk winner.
And even if you say they should have tied, yeah, they should have tied. Dwayne Wade got up and stood up and walked away.
Yep.
He came back. He didn't have to. He was told to. He didn't have to. I think that just shows the NBA being kind of selfish there. Even though they're such a cool league, I think them not allowing a tie. Because there have been co-dunk winners before, am I right?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Somebody was saying that. One of the people talking who were freaking out for every dunk like it was the best dunk you've ever seen.
There was a lot of really good dunks.
Yeah, but like every single one, oh my, that's a 50. How is that not a 50? Did you see that? That's a 50. Like, no, it's not. It's like a 48.
The NBA's had a problem with too many dunks being 50s.
Give props to Rick Jones Jr. I mean, he puts on a hell of a show, and it was amazing. He did the Jordan dunk almost. Didn't quite make it, which should have docked it. It did dock him, but didn't dock him enough for Dwayne Wade, obviously.
Because it's Jordan dunk. I mean, it's the man's birthday now, so. It
is the man's birthday, but it wasn't on Saturday.
But
there's never been.
There was going to be the last dunk contest before Michael Jordan's birthday in 2020.
Still, I don't know. I think Dwayne Wade shouldn't be allowed back on a thing. And Brunswick or whatever, Black Panther.
Chadwick Boseman?
The hell does he get on that panel?
Because he's Chadwick Boseman.
He wasn't even like a basketball fan, really. He's kind of just chilling.
He basically those guys that goes to games because he
goes to just for the clout.
Basically.
Yeah.
Here's your question of the day: who has the most slam dunk contest winners, or who has the most slam dunk wins?
Jordan?
No,
it's not Jordan.
Sean Kemp.
It is not Sean Kemp. I don't even think Sean.
Oh man.
Sean Kemp is not even on the list.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade is not even
Vince Carter.
Not Vince Carter.
Vince Carter only has 1. The winner, the highest place is 3, right?
Yep, they have 3 wins in 2006, 2009, and 2010.
6, 9, and 10.
He does not play in the NBA currently.
It's not Kobe. Kobe only had 1, and that was in 97.
Zach Levine? No.
Zach Levine only has 2.
He could compete next year.
He could.
Honestly, he might be wanting to now that Aaron Gordon's not in, because I feel like he's just too afraid that if he wins over Aaron Gordon, that it's going to be exactly what this is.
I see where you go there. Who is it, Noah?
Nate Robinson.
That's right.
Nate Robinson is 3 dunk contest wins.
That's an accolade to have.
It kind of is. I mean,
that's crazy.
Well, because you know how tall Nate Robinson is. He's not tall.
Yeah,
that's how you win.
That's how you win, because everyone's like, whoa.
If you think about it, tall guys doing the dunk contest. I'm sorry, it doesn't look as cool.
That's true because like Taco Fall should be in it next year, and literally all he should just for his first dunk, he should literally just.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it'd be a good time.
even though it's like in slow mo, it looks really good. Some of these dunks where they're like huge guys, they're like, there's nothing special about that.
Right.
But even though there is, like, I think the one with the touching the backboard, who I don't remember who.
Matthew
did that.
Cunnington.
Yeah, he touched the backboard. I was at first though I didn't see that.
Yeah, he jumped over Giannis.
Yeah.
Boom, and then boom.
And I was like, he just jumped over Giannis. What?
Yeah, he just jumped over Giannis, which is impressive enough.
Yeah, but like, I'm like, that's a 50?
Well, yeah.
And then I saw the replays. I'm like, I guess. If you want to.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. Just funny stuff.
Yeah. And then we had the actual game.
Yeah.
Love the format, by the way.
Oh, I
They
think
should keep it to that.
Yeah. If there would be a way for them to get more involved in the first 3 quarters, like they played good.
Yeah.
But during the first 3 quarters, make it. I don't know how you'd make them play harder like they did in the 4th.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
it would be cool. Otherwise, the first 3 quarters they're fun to watch, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how I kind of did like how the score erased at the end of each quarter.
Yeah.
The charities, you might want to bring people from the charities that know how to play basketball.
Wow.
And not cheer when your team's shooting a free throw and scream and make people miss. But
yeah, it's not exactly the move, but
I get it. It's cool.
Right.
I liked how the 4th quarter though, everybody played hard. I think there was like 50-something fast break points during the first something.
A lot of players kind of getting into it too. Some players are feeling the intensity.
Team LeBron set a quarter record for the All-Star game with a 53-point quarter.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
And then you go to the 4th quarter and it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Everybody was playing defense. Such a good game. Like that's probably.
I do hate how it ended on a free throw, but
yeah, I don't think. Next year, I think they'll change it so where you can't win on a free throw.
Right. Except AD missed the first one. I was like,
He said he did it on purpose. I don't know if he did it on purpose.
Guaranteed he did.
He was chuckling about it. But imagine if he would have missed it. Oh.
Right. I actually would have missed the second one.
Chicago's own Anthony Davis.
Ooh, foreshadowing.
He's from Chicago.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Foreshadowing.
Right.
Well, he said he wants to go back to Chicago. If realistically, we've said it, and we'll say it 10 times over if we have to. If the Lakers do not win the championship, AD to the Bulls. It's going to happen. The Bulls don't have to do much for him. The Bulls have a young core that he would plop right into and be the leader.
But the fact of the matter is AD could go to Chicago, play with a young team that may or may not develop the way they're supposed to, or he could play with LeBron and at least, still have a shot.
I'd almost take the LeBron deal, I guess.
Well, yeah.
But it depends how you view it.
I would take the LeBron deal, and I'm like, me, I'm a Bulls fan. So having AD go to the Bulls,
I will say
something.
Having AD though, like with Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, Kobe White.
Chris Dunn's probably not gonna be on the team.
Yeah, you've talked about that. I really think they should keep him though.
He hasn't even been playing that much recently.
Oh, he hasn't. Oh, then they're definitely gonna trade him.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Because again, I am not the expert of the Chicago Bulls. That is Brendon.
I'm not the expert either. I just pay attention a little bit.
You throwing me as the expert, and I don't even watch Bulls games.
No,
I don't think I've watched a single Bulls game this year.
I haven't watched a Bulls game
I just watch
this year.
the score tracker and look at the box scores.
I've watched a ton of Pelicans games.
I have, because Zion's a
freak.
They want Ja and Zion both in the dunk contest next year.
Oh.
Ja's already said nah.
But Zion hasn't though.
If Zion says yes, I feel like Ja could be pressured into it pretty easily.
I feel like so too.
But I feel like Ja doesn't want to go up against Zion when it comes to that.
Because he's going to lose.
That's true. Imagine Zion dunks. Oh.
You know what bothers me?
What?
So this is gonna be my Bulls bias that bothers me. Zach LaVine, right?
Okay.
Second highest dunk in 2K.
Okay.
Second only to Giannis, not Giannis, sorry. Second only to Zion, who has 99 dunks.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I agree with that statistic.
It just bothers me.
Yes.
Granted, the guy did bent a rim.
Yes, sir. Rising Stars game.
Zion is an animal. Zion is a beast, though.
Ooh. That Rising Stars game, we didn't even talk about it. That was a good game,
I enjoyed it.
Luka singing it from half court like it was nothing.
Freaking Luka. Playing in the... He's considered a rising star, but he's also considered an MVP this year.
Right? That's just how you know you're...
Yeah, but
you're
he didn't...
Oh,
he can't even tell.
Rising Stars game was pretty good. The NBA AllStar game was pretty good.
It was a very solid weekend. It was a very good weekend. Adam Silver should be very proud of how this weekend went. They did it for Kobe, so...
The NFL wants to take some tips from Adam Silver. Recommend it.
Well, the NFL can suck it, because their Pro Bowl will never be good.
Which sucks.
It really does, but they'll never be good.
I minorly enjoy the Pro Bowl.
Never once have I woke up on the first Sunday after the championship weekend and be like, gosh, I cannot wait.
Let's go, the Pro Bowl's today.
I cannot wait to watch the Pro Bowl.
This is going to be so good this year.
It's not, yeah.
No. I'm like, oh.
And everything, wow. The moment I've been waiting for all freaking year, the NFL Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, but, yeah. So,
I cannot wait for Drew Brees to throw a lollipop.
Hear me out, right? We complain about who makes it to the Pro Bowl and who does it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we don't give a shit about the Pro Bowl.
That's fair.
Why are we like this?
Because the Pro Bowl is still considered an accolade that goes on Hall of Fame resumes. So it's just kind of annoying.
So Pat McAfee touched on this on his radio show every morning, right? And he was, when the Pro Bowl was going on, and he was like, that first Pro Bowl, I want to make it. And then he wants to make Pro Bowl selection because to the NFL it matters, right?
Right.
But he doesn't want to play in the Pro. He doesn't want to do the Pro Bowl. He just wants to be selected.
Right.
So it's really just the stat on the piece of paper, not.
Right, because it is a stat that people recognize, like when you go into the Hall of Fame or like go into your
12-time Pro Bowler. Damn, that guy's good.
So fun facts,
Mitch Trubisky.
About actually talking about that. So Joe Thomas, right, he only missed one Pro Bowl, which was in his last year because he was injured,
and that's impressive.
That is impressive.
He was also on such a disappointing team that he wanted that win though. Like if you put like a winner. Like, in the Pro Bowl, they're not as... Like, put Drew Brees. Drew Brees goes, right? But he goes for his kids. He doesn't go for him.
Right.
Like, it's not something that he enjoys doing necessarily.
Right. I remember one year he was, like, yelling at his kid on the sideline. Yeah. It's kind of funny. He was about to... Yeah, it was really funny.
But we still have the epicness of the NBA All-Star game. Actually, though, underrated All-Star game is the NHL one. Because the NHL skills competition is
we didn't even talk about it when
I know we didn't.
I don't really like the whole... I don't know. NHL All-Star games has been kind of whatever for me.
So they changed it to the 3-on-3 whatever, right?
Yep, 3-on-3s.
And that was interesting, but it's kind of... The coolness is kind of... You know what I mean?
You know what?
Well, the problem with the NHL All-Star game is it's the NHL.
That's true. That's very true.
Hockey's the most entertaining sport, but nobody's a hockey fan. Unless they are. But there's very few people that are hockey fans. So if you're a hockey fan listening to this right now, I love you. You're awesome. Stay cool. Even if you like a shitty team like the Minnesota Wild,
hey,
you're still okay in my book.
Yeah. Wow. You know All-Star game is about to be lit this year, the MLS All-Star game, because they now changed the format towards MLS All-Stars versus Liga MX All-Stars.
Ooh.
That's about to be good.
Is that
the Mexican soccer league?
Is that the Mexican league?
Basically, it's MLS's biggest rival, and this, I'm telling you guys, this is the year that MLS proved they're better than Liga MX. This is the year. We win CONCACAF Champions League. We win the MLS All-Star game. Chicharito has a great year. We're plucking all these Mexicans from everywhere. We're about to be great.
Yes! You sold me.
MLS. This is the year MLS arrives.
MLS for life.
For life.
I like how this whole time we've been trying to talk about NBA, but we've just gotten off topic.
Well, we were talking about All-Star games. Yeah. I mean, it was whatever.
You know what? Hey, now. You're an all-star. Put your game on.
Go play.
Go play.
Wow. Good thing we only did part of that, or we'd be copyrighted, because your voice sounds so much like Smash Mouth there.
That's true.
Well, we're talking about the NFL and how their Pro Bowl will never be good.
True.
The XFL, if they had a Pro Bowl,
that would
be
be
to see
lit.
what that looked like. Week 2 of the XFL is happening.
It was dude. I said last week, going to the archives, I was saying week 1 was great, but how are you gonna do in week 2? Week 2 was awesome. I'm willing to bet there was more people in the stands. It seemed like there was more people. Did you know that the Wildcats had a higher attendance with actual home fans than the Chargers did? They played in the exact same stadium.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the most insane things to hear. The XFL has more. It's just
fans than an NFL team.
Well, I mean, we've already seen that though with DC and Washington.
Right,
that's
DC.
True too.
Houston had a lot of fans.
Houston Texan fans are Houston Texan fans though.
Right, but there was 18,000 people at that game. That's crazy.
I feel like Houston Texans fans are very easily going to be Houston Roughnecks.
Oh yeah, they're fans of everything. Houston Cougars, Houston Texans, Roughnecks. Speaking of Roughneck, well, actually we'll get to that game. We'll start with the first game on the list.
All right, so
DC's probably the best team in the league.
I wouldn't say probably even. I mean,
they are. They are.
I'm still gonna wait to see them go against Houston, the true best team in the XFL.
Week 7, I believe that is.
I don't know. I saw how Houston played in the second half, and it's a little suspect.
They're gonna fix it.
But DC is not suspect. They have the best defense in the NFL the XFL because they're the defenders.
Yeah.
Cardale Jones is probably between him or PJ Walker. They're the MVPs of the league so far. Cardale Jones is killing it.
Oh yeah. He's showing that he needs to be back on the Chargers as a starter this time.
He is proven that he can make an NFL roster. That is for sure.
What I found really impressive though is the Guardians killed the Vipers 23-3 week 1.
Yeah.
And then going and the Defenders kill the Guardians 27-0.
Yeah, Matt McGloin played like pure terrible.
And then he blamed it on. This is what I love about the sideline reporting.
He's
just blaming it on everybody else. I'm like, you have wide open people. What are you doing?
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what I thought was great?
What?
Did you guys see the 75-foot long beer snake at the game?
Yes.
The beer snake was longer than any pass Matt McGloin tried to complete that game.
That makes it even better.
Got him.
I think Matt McGloin is not going to be the starter next week.
No, I don't think so either. Especially after calling out his teammate and coach, they're going to be all mad.
Especially when he's the one that, if it was the coach's fault or the game plan that was bad, I get it. But when you have at least one wide open receiver every other play, and you're just not executing it, that's on you.
So, one thing that I definitely think helps out the Defenders and might be the biggest push is Anthony Johnson, former LA Wildcat. If you remember, was he traded or cut first week? Traded.
They said he was being cut, but then he was traded. Right. So it was all weird because the XFL officially said
he was cut,
but then
he got traded.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Work? I don't know.
But dang, Vince, what are you trying to do?
Him ending up on the Defenders instead of the Wildcats, he was the captain of the defense on the Wildcats. Right. He's a very good pass rusher. I feel like that's shown some help.
The other games, so we can Seattle and Tampa. That was a good set. The first half, not that great.
Well, Tampa needs to start Quentin Flowers. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't. Cornelius, whatever the hell his name was.
Cornelius, yeah.
So, I'm like, why the fuck is he starting? I was so hyped for...
That's I still feel like Tampa can be a good team, but they need to start Quentin Flowers in order to do that.
Katie Nolan is very openly a Tampa Bay Vipers fan, and I love Katie.
Or Navy Colon as her Instagram.
Wow.
Shout out to Katie Nolan though. Shout out to Katie Nolan. Noah John 21.
Her biggest thing, so she was calling game day for the Vipers, Vipers Day, also on the same weekend as Valentine's Day,
Hey!
V-Day,
Oh,
and and Katie was like, "How rude, not giving us flowers for V-Day."
Wow, that's good.
Love that.
Love Katie.
Love Katie.
And then Katie began to talk about MLS stuff. So.
Katie. Sweet Katie.
It's crazy though. Came down to the last play, the Seattle game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Tampa was trying to compete.
Yeah, I mean both. I mean, yeah. Well, Tampa honestly, even who they play in week 1 again?
Week 1, they got destroyed by the Guardians.
Right, but Aaron Murray was missing a crap ton of throws.
Right, but they made it. They had more total yards. They made it to the red zone
they had
50,000
turnovers
times.
in the red zone. They couldn't capitalize. So yeah, there was definitely a lot of a lot of factors into going into that. It's one of those things where if you actually watch the game, you see how the game progresses.
Yeah. They're not as bad as 0-2.
Right.
As it sounds.
Right, they're probably the best 0-2 team. Well, considering there's only 2, but...
And one of them's...
Honestly, there hasn't really been a team yet that's been like, wow, this team is garbage.
Right?
It really hasn't been that team yet. I mean, obviously, we're only 2 weeks in.
Well...
But sometimes in the NFL, you could tell, like the Dolphins, you're like, oh, this team is bad.
Yeah, you don't know what to expect.
I feel like...
No, I think the Vipers... Okay, the first half.
What the Vipers need to do is
they
have a quarterback issue. That's what they need to fix. I think they can fix that by starting Quentin Flowers.
Yeah.
I think it allows them to be more, because you look at the top quarterbacks in the XFL right now: Cardale Jones, PJ Walker, Jordan Ta'amu. All are athletic.
Right. They all can move around.
All can move around
the
pocket.
They all slippery as fuck.
Well, I saw PJ Walker. We couldn't sack him for shit.
No. We're going to get to that, though.
Oh, we will.
But first, rough, slow, defensive battle. Dallas versus Los Angeles.
That was a fantastic game.
I loved it.
It was a good game.
Would probably honestly put it as game of the week. I really liked the Battlehawks game.
Yeah,
I think I'd put it as game of the week, though.
I probably would, too.
Yeah.
And that means that Renegades are 1-1. LA's 1-2, which kind of is we were talking about. None of the teams are really bad.
Because the Wildcats were definitely they were very competitive.
Oh, it was a 3-3 game at the half.
Right.
And then they put out 15 in the fourth. It was kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think what's going to be interesting to come to watch in the next few weeks of the XFL is going to be if the Guardians downward spiral the Guardians. And if the Vipers can lift themselves up.
Right.
And
which I'm okay if none of those things happen, because literally St. Louis, because you got to finish top 2 to make the playoff. We just got to be better than New York and Tampa, which I think we are. We definitely.
I would say you are.
I shouldn't even say we are. We definitely are.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm not actually sure how the playoff schedule works for this. Then.
So you go.
4 teams in each conference, obviously.
So
top 2 in each conference make it. So it's basically like a Final Four, and then obviously winner of those games will play in the...
Is it like East and West?
East and West, yeah. Okay. The West is comprised of Seattle Dragons, LA Wildcats, Houston Roughnecks, and Dallas Renegades, and then obviously in the East, New York, DC, St. Louis, and Tampa.
Yeah. So it's probably going to be DC...
And DC and St. Louis.
And
the West is pretty wide open.
Roughnecks and whoever else could take it.
It's because what if we had the All Texas shootout?
Oh, but I feel like
the rivalry.
I feel like Houston's kind of just gonna walk to that championship game.
Well, I don't know about walk. Dallas looked pretty freaking good this week.
Telling you,
they didn't look bad against St. Louis either. They just couldn't finish drives.
No, you're right.
But I mean, it was the first week they've played a game, so.
And they didn't have their main guy. Philip Nelson started week 1.
That's true. They got what's his name, Landry Jones. Landry Jones back, yeah. Oh, he didn't look bad actually.
He looked solid especially coming off an injury. So
we'll find out.
We will.
But we got to talk about the last game here.
Rough.
As sad as it was.
PJ Walker.
Sad days for my Battlehawks.
Started off 6-9.
Duh.
I was like, it started off 9-0. I was like,
started off quite slow.
Oh. And then second half, going into halftime, I was like, uh-oh. Guess we're taking an L on this one, right? Battlehawks. And the third quarter, I'm like, okay, they're getting back into it. And then the end of the game, I'm like, come on, you can do this.
Yeah, well, okay, so this is my analysis, because this is the only game where I watched every single second of it. Okay. Here's my analysis of the game. So P.J. Walker was god tier in the first half.
Yep.
He honestly looks like Russell Wilson playing in the XFL.
That's a good comparison.
He's the Russell Wilson of the XFL. He has a great arm, and he just torched us. He torched us, eluded sacks, and that's all it came down to. But then in the second half, this is why I am not convinced that Houston's the best team in the XFL. Now, Houston's defense made some clutch plays, but Jordan Ta'amu is an animal. Jordan Ta'amu's second interception should not have counted because it was an offside. There was some controversy there. Should have been offsides. St. Louis got back what they were good at doing, and that's running the football, setting screens, not putting the pressure on Jordan Ta'amu, but I honestly think he can handle the pressure. And honestly, like, with how bad we played in the first half, we still damn near should have won that football game. You know, we were literally a few stops and a couple of bad calls away from winning that football game, and
yeah,
it just sucks. But you know, when you have the most penalties in the game, and you have the most turnovers in the game, that's not a formula to win. You know, you throw 2 interceptions that both go down inside the 5. You know, nearly took it to the house. That's not going to help. It makes it easy for P.J. Walker, which is another thing too. Houston had 2 of their touchdowns were fairly easy when you have them inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
So,
but you have to get them inside the 5.
Well, yeah. When you're.
I'm just saying, like, you had to make that play to get them inside the 5.
Well, yeah, the defensive back did, but I'm saying the offense was so set up for success. Like, how could you fuck that up or screw that up?
I mean, you could pretty easily.
You could, but not with a quarterback like P.J. Walker.
That's true. But.
You know, if Stephon Gilmore gets an interception and he returns it to the 4-yard line, Tom Brady ain't gonna screw that up very often.
No, he'll Scooby-Doo it. Do you not know what Scooby-Doo is?
I know what Scooby-Doo is.
No, with Tom Brady though.
Oh no.
Scooby-Doo is when Tom Brady sneaks it.
I don't
know. The first time Tom Brady ever ran a sneak, he said Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo. Ran it. So it became a thing.
We have a mystery on our hands. So next week, looking into next week, it's the Roughnecks at the Vipers.
Are we making our game pick? We don't have to do score. I think we should make some quick picks for it. Houston will definitely beat Tampa.
I agree.
Now here's the thing though: if Tampa is smart and they start Quentin Flowers, I think we can have an interesting football game.
Yes.
A very interesting game. I do think. I actually put my predictions in the. I did my predictions in the Play. Do you guys have the Play XFL app?
I sure do.
You do? Well, here, let's just read our predictions on there. It's already preset on there.
So what you do is you download the Play XL app or XFL. So if you just type in XFL on your app store, you'll find it.
Okay. There's an XFL app.
Yes.
Download that as well.
All right.
And then Play XFL.
Yep.
You got it, and you can win money. If you get 2 perfect scores, the cash prize is $25,000.
Yeah.
Which, if we go back to the archives, I had 2 or 3 perfect scored games. Oh no, I almost had 3. I was 1 point.
I have a couple too, yeah.
So one of my buddies nearly freaking won $100 because he was in like the top 10, or he was close to the top 10. So yeah, so I'm kind of hoping I can win some stuff. That'd be kind of cool. I think if the NFL did something like this, that'd be awesome.
And I think that's another one of the very smart things about the XFL is that they have betting and everything being, like, what's the word for it?
They encourage it.
Yeah, they encourage it. They're really
like they're open. We will give you money if you pick the score of the games. We will give you money. But yeah. So what was the first game you were talking about?
The first game is
Houston versus Tampa.
Tampa.
That game isn't one of the pick'ems for the week, but I do think Houston's gonna win that football game.
I also agree with you. The next game is gonna be, I'm gonna say, the most interesting game of the week. It's gonna be the Renegades at the Dragons.
That's gonna be a very interesting, because I think both teams are very similar. They're both kind of ground and pound. They're not gonna wow you with big explosive offensive plays. Both have very good front sevens, as we saw in all their respective games.
Yep.
That game is not a pick'em for this week, but I do think that, is it in Dallas or in Seattle?
In Seattle.
I do think. I'm going with Seattle because I think their defense in that home crowd, the 12th man.
Right.
Seattle actually showed up for that game. Though they showed up. Like obviously, if you try and compare it to a Seahawks game, that's mean of you. But though they showed up, man. Seattle's rooting for everything there. So.
What do you have?
Because they're getting prepared to root for the Seattle Krakens.
The Seattle Kraken. Dude, Seattle's popping right now.
Yeah, actually, though, I just kind of realized the Seattle Dragons color scheme is very similar to the Seattle Krakens.
Whoa.
Oh.
Is that officially what they're calling them?
Yeah.
Like that's like they announced it. Sweet.
Who do you have won in that game?
So Seattle Dragons,
Dallas
Renegades. I have the Seattle Dragons winning that game.
Seattle all is what we're going with here. And now, for the picks of the week, brought to you by the XFL. So we got the New York Guardians at St. Louis Battlehawks in their first home game. Am I correct?
Yeah, the Guardians at the Battle. We're finally at the Dome.
Taking the W.
It's gonna be weird seeing a football game at the Dome. It's been a long time since I've watched I shouldn't say a long time, but it's been a hot minute since I've watched a football game on TV. It's been in the Dome. But I got Battlehawks 28-20.
Wow, you're Kevin. Guardians.
I do, because I think New York is still a good football team. I just think they need to get their quarterback situation figured out. Which I think they will, because I think they're going to sit Matt McGloin.
I have the Battlehawks winning 26-9 because a changing in offense, even if they can figure it out as a football team, a changing in offense usually starts out slow. And one of the biggest things with the Battlehawks, what we've seen this season, is they are a pretty sound defensive team, especially in the secondary, obviously led by Will Hill.
Mm-hmm.
But so I have 26-9 St. Louis Battlehawks getting the dub.
I have 22-11 with the Battlehawks taking the victory. I think there's going to be a 3-point try though.
There better be.
By the Guardians. I don't think the Battlehawks are going to do it. They're going to be up. The Guardians going to go for the 3-point try. Yeah. But it'll be an interesting game. And then we have
the Defenders at the Wildcats.
Yeah. What a game this might be.
I'm gonna give LA the benefit of the doubt, and they did look solid against. Who they played? I already drew a blank. Who did the Wildcats play this weekend?
The Wildcats.
Oh, the Renegades. Yeah, because obviously we saw it was a Renegade roast. So we saw LA put up a good fight. But I just think DC's. I think Cardale Jones is just gonna have a good game. I think that DC's defense is just gonna put some pressure on LA. I think they might get some garbage time points potentially, but I have 35-24. DC improves to 3-0.
I have 21-6.
Oh,
DC.
That's a fairly not blowout game.
Oh.
I have 38-16.
Oh,
Brendon has 2 blowouts this week.
Wow, we're not impressed.
Well, I feel like this week's matchups aren't as great.
No, I'm excited for the Renegades Seattle game. I think that's going to definitely be game of the week.
Yeah.
But
we'll have to see.
Both 1-1 teams.
Yeah.
I was saying I can't wait until this league pops and then they start to expand, get more teams.
Right.
I heard rumors that they might put a team in Omaha.
I also heard rumors.
Omaha Zookeepers? Question mark?
Nah,
do we need to show them our old?
Nah, I think you should call them the Omaha Storm or the Omaha call them the Omaha Storm. That'd be cool.
I don't know. I think we're attached to Zookeepers.
I think we're attached to Zookeepers because I already made a logo for them and it was bomb.
Yeah, and we have merch and everything.
I don't really like the
logo. Yes, on a computer at my house.
Oh, I don't know if I vibe with Stormkeeper or
Zookeepers.
Zookeepers, not Stormkeepers.
Look at the logo.
The logo's. I don't want to be biased here, but the logo is pretty fire.
You gotta show me.
Duncan has it on his computer at home.
I'll send it to you. We'll put it out on a podcast.
I was going to say, we'll put it out on the podcast page. You can decide if you folks like it. Although we did make it for a basketball team. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. But,
it's whatever.
I don't remember where else, but there was another place that wanted a team. And the XFL was actually looking into. So I'd like to see a small increase, right? I would just like to see 6 new teams at a time.
Yeah.
Just introduce 2. One
for
each,
exactly. Nothing too crazy.
But
we're not picky people.
no,
We just want to see. We just want to see some more teams.
We got some breaking news coming out of the NFL though, as DJ Humphries has agreed to a 3-year, $45 million deal with $29 million guaranteed with the Cardinals.
Damn.
Oh wow.
So
interesting.
Arizona's keeping their retaining their people.
Arizona is not gonna be fun. They're not gonna be fun to play. I'm not gonna lie.
No, they're gonna be a good team, I think.
Maybe all the teams need to just kind of let Arizona win, just for Larry Fitzgerald.
I just really hope that they just.
Then the Patriots can tank, so that way they can get Trevor Lawrence.
I don't want that to happen though.
But keep the dynasty going. Got it. Your boyfriend would keep a dynasty alive.
I don't want him to keep a dynasty alive.
He would inherit a dynasty.
I want him to start his own destiny.
He can have his own destiny, keeping the dynasty alive.
No, I don't want that.
It's not up to you.
Freak off.
It's up to him if he wants it to be. But yeah, so the NHL trade deadline is coming up next Monday.
Yep.
So make sure you listen to next week's episode where we'll kind of break down all of those trades.
From what I've seen, it doesn't seem like there's going to be anything super huge, because we've already seen like Blake Coleman go to the Preds.
Right.
I don't know.
We posted on
We
it.
broke the news.
We broke it.
Who broke the news?
Jason Zucker.
There you go.
Yeah. Zucker to the Penguins was a big one, but I just think right now teams are kind of in their own vibe, and they're not going to be wanting to make any moves.
So it will be a non-interesting
Correct.
trade deadline, which is I'm fine with, I guess. But I always like to see just something major shake up the whole, the whole dynamic of everything. But
I mean, just gonna double check here. We're gonna pop into see what the latest buzz is.
the buzz.
The latest buzz.
All right. Well, I'll be sure to edit this part out of the podcast so you can check out the latest buzz.
No, literally, it's called the buzz.
Oh, okay. We are at 54, guys.
Yes, sir.
Crushing it without him. I just need to make sure that I remember to take this part out, because otherwise
Oh shit! I missed that. It's not a huge thing, but
you're missing stuff.
Andy Green went to the Islanders, also from the New Jersey Devils.
Andy Green went to the Islanders?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Andy Green's like not that big of a player, but it looks like the Islanders could be looking out for another forward as they enter the playoffs. So they'll be on the hunt, and it looks like the San Jose Sharks might be trying to sell. There's speculation they might be trying to sell a Joel Thornton or a Patrick Marleau since.
Since San Jose is kind of out of it.
Yo. Actually, it seems like if teams are shopping, they're shopping for forwards, and if they're selling defense.
Yeah.
So that's why there's not going to be.
Is there any change to your Stanley Cup predictions as of now? Are you still sticking with Bruins and
Boston strong?
Boston strong. Who's your pick in the West again? For those that.
That's probably the Blues still.
Yeah, you can go. You can go to past episodes too.
Dallas has been on a huge upswing lately.
Really?
Yeah, Connor McJesus has been making moves.
Connor McDavid?
Yeah, Connor McJesus.
Did I really guess his name?
Yeah, that's
I'm
his name.
impressed with myself.
Wait, you actually didn't know for sure if it was Connor McDavid?
No. But
wow.
The biggest thing is Nashville and or Winnipeg might be making a push back into the playoffs here as we go in the latter half of the season, because Arizona has been on a 3-game losing streak. Calgary is like, I think 2-1 in their last 3 games. But
Yeah.
I know that Calgary suffered a huge loss to Chicago, 8-4. But if you were wondering, the Bruins are 3 points ahead of the next closest team, which is the Lightning at 83.
Those are my. That's my pick to win.
The Lightning?
The Lightning, Tampa Bay.
You know what's funny though? In the Atlantic Division, the top 3 is Boston at 86, Tampa Bay at 83. Those are the top 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
In the whole NHL, points wise. And then it's Toronto at 70. So there's a 13-point difference between Tampa Bay and Toronto. Washington and the Penguins are sitting at the 1 and 2. Islanders are down to 3 in the Metropolitan. Ooh, Philly and Carolina are gonna be doing some dancing.
I heard, both those teams are kind of killing it right now.
Well, they've both been on upswings. Philly is right now sitting at the last wildcard spot with 71 points. Carolina is just outside at 70.
Yeah.
It's the differential from like what it looks like the predictions are for between Carolina and Florida, who's been on just a steady decline from second place. Is 26.
Oh.
Is the estimated differential.
Okay.
So that's not. I feel like even though they're only 2 points behind, I feel like Carolina is not afraid of Florida.
Cool.
Rip Joel Quenneville.
Rip Joel Quenneville.
So it's gonna be interesting.
But so you know how a couple weeks ago Detroit was at 31 points?
Sure.
They're now at 32 points. They had an
That's
overtime
awesome.
loss.
That's
Good
awesome.
job,
Detroit. Good for you, Detroit.
Oh,
That
That's
was like
so
2 weeks
terrible.
ago. They've only gone up 1 point in the NHL,
They-
National Hockey
They
League.
really are that bad, though.
Yeah.
maybe next year,
Jeez.
guys.
That is so rough.
The 4 teams in the hunt for the wild card in the Western Conference have just kind of cycled around. So at one point in time, Chicago was 1 spot out. Now they're 4 spots out.
Yeah, I saw Chicago was kind of fading a little bit.
But
it's like,
they also just
sad
had
days.
their 4-point victory over Calgary, 8-4.
Yeah.
Which Calgary is right now chilling in that wild card spot, but a loss to Winnipeg doesn't help.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Sad days.
But we will see if the trade that the Lightning just made for Nick Foot is gonna help him out any. Or giving away Nick Foot, I mean. Getting Blake Coleman. I don't know why I mixed those up. For a
Yeah.
second.
Dang.
And it's Nolan Foot. Oh my god, I'm bad.
Wow.
I'm just off today.
That's okay. But next, we're gonna fix the Giants, Brendon.
Yeah, Brendon, you're gonna fix
Fix
your
the
most despised team.
Oh, so
New York getting fixed right here.
New York.
Who's their new head coach?
Joe Judge.
Joe Judge.
Patriots guys.
Oh, yeah, Joe Judge. Joe
Brendon, this should be you all day.
Listen in, Joe.
Yeah, alright, Joe.
Do you have the wheel ready?
Listen to me,
I
man.
do.
Who's doing it next week, you or me?
Do you want to? Otherwise,
Sure, I can do it next week.
Okay.
No, we'll get my live reaction.
Awesome.
So, if you folks were listening to last week's podcast, and if you were not,
Go to
luckily
the
there
archives.
is a great thing known as the podcast archives.
Yeah.
You remember Benjamin talking about a certain linebacker who is projected to go around that 4 spot where the Giants sit. You know I'm talking about Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
That's who we're drafting. 'Cause we need to patch some holes on defense. We need to make sure we get receivers. And we need to make sure we fortify our O-line.
All right.
So, actually gonna give you a quick little foreshadowing here. Sitting at the 212, it looks like the Giants are going to take interior offensive lineman Shane Lemieux. So, obviously, that's my prospect of the week.
Get to that
later. That is actually unrelated. Fun fact, I didn't pay attention to that when I was picking my prospect. Sure. It just seems good for O-line.
Okay.
And he's like third in talent in interior O-line for this upcoming draft. He seems pretty good. That'll help fix those holes so we can protect Daniel Jones. Moving forward, Daniel Jones. Eli retiring is just a big sigh of relief. We could care less. Thank you, Eli, for the 2 Super Bowls that you didn't deserve, but we're...
Hey, now.
Kidding.
Go jump on that other podcast.
Yeah, right? No.
Exactly.
No. Eli Manning's the luckiest quarterback ever. No.
Eli Manning is not the luckiest quarterback ever.
He's not, because he could have had way better defenses.
Could have.
But, anyways, Daniel Jones is our guy, right? Saquon, even though he had a little kind of a hiccup, he had a sophomore slump. He definitely did.
I blame that mostly on the O-line.
I blame it mostly on the O-line.
And wasn't he out 4 weeks with a...
He was also out for a few weeks.
But he also had that 1 yard game. That was
true.
That was
very true.
pretty sad.
It was not good.
But I think Saquon's still our guy. He's going to come back kind of with a chip on his shoulder. Like, I am Saquon Barkley. I should be the best running back in this goddamn league.
True.
So he's going to come out. He's going to do fire as long as we get him an O-line. Also with that, though, we can't be a one-dimensional offense anymore.
Yeah.
We really need to look to the free agency and sign some dudes. So Robbie Anderson, going to be a prime target in the free agency.
Oh.
He is probably one of the better wide receivers that are hitting the free agency. He should be pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I talked about this and then did not write a lot of it down, which was unfortunate. So I'm forgetting something.
Sad days.
Big sad days.
Safety. Cornerbacks.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Big brain time.
I'm sticking with it. So I kind of said this as a little bit of a meme, but I think the Giants should try to pick up Josh Norman for cheap. Okay? We've seen Josh Norman play well before, but then he went on to the Washington Redskins, and he didn't do anything, right? No, that must mean he's terrible. Hear me out. What if it was just the organization?
Could have been.
Because Washington does have a good habit of being a shitty organization. And all you Giants fans out there, you hate the Redskins. You hate the Cowboys, but we're not gonna dog in the Cowboys for once, because we can just make fun of how often they say we get boys, because they're just a bunch of boys playing in a men's football league.
Ooh.
Going at him.
What you trying to say? What you trying to do about that Cowboys fans? Hit us up.
Yeah.
Anyways,
SighSquad Pod.
Back to what I'm saying. Giants need to get some veterans on that Giants defense to maybe kind of upbring some of the potential youth that they have on their team with their corners, which would be better. Obviously, they had Janoris Jenkins, who probably should have been a little bit better than he was, but we're not gonna clap at that. We're gonna. I'm seeing if they make these moves. There's a safety that I wanted them to get. There's talks that Jamal Adams wants to move spots. Fun facts, but that would require a trade. I don't think we're in the position to trade. We cannot trade.
That's fair.
We don't have anything to sell, and we don't really have anything. We don't have anything to sell that would be at high enough price.
You could sell your tight end.
I don't think
Worse
that's...
in your offense, better your defense. Defense wins championships.
So, but there is a few people that are going to be free agents this year that I think we need to pay attention to.
Okay.
Anthony Harris just led the league in interceptions.
Yeah, he is set to be a free agent.
He is set to be a free agent. He may want to... Minnesota may try to...
I have a feeling he's going to resign.
Minnesota's probably going to re-sign him. But then again, Minnesota also is broke.
It's very true.
Like, Minnesota is just weighed down by their cousin borrowing too much money from them. But Justin Simmons, though, a little bit younger of a guy, is going to be a free agent. Right?
Justin Simmons will not make it to the free agency.
Justin Simmons will probably not make it to the free agency, though.
He's already going to be franchise tagged if he doesn't sign a new deal.
No, I know.
Pretty much.
I'm building up here.
Okay.
The person that has most likely been looked to not be re-signed by their team, so that way their team can have some extra cap space, make some moves this offseason, and actually probably to get Robbie Anderson, which is conflicting with my plans here. But 4-time Super Bowl champion Devin McCourty is going to be a free agent. I don't think the Patriots are going to try to re-sign him because they're going to try to make some. They're just going to try to make some little moves so that way they have some extra cap space as they move on here. So, Giants, right?
Yeah.
Are going to sign Devin McCourty.
Ooh.
Which is going to piss off Patriots fans, including me.
Ooh. Anytime Patriots fans are pissed, I'm happy.
It's going to piss me off so much.
Yes, sir.
But,
do it, New York.
But, another person that they might look at is Clinton Diggs. He has not really been loyal to a team whenever it came to free agency time.
That's true.
Because he went to Washington, then he went to Chicago. Maybe Chicago can rope him in with their big dreams of, making Mitch as
long as it's not Mitch Trubisky, it's not going to happen.
Quarterback.
What do you mean? Mitch Trubisky's
Exactly.
great quarterback.
I know exactly what I mean.
I hope you get the Bears to fix.
But it really that would be great.
Oh my God! Please, I hope I get the Bears. Oh my God.
But so it seems with teams in the NFC East, they all really like to just screw each other over, right?
They really do, though.
Like that's just their big thing. That's why that's part of the reason why they're taking Josh Norman.
Okay.
If a Devin McCourty deal can't get worked out, though, I think the number one person the Giants are going to go after is going to be Rodney McLeod from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Huh.
So you're keeping in the division here, right?
Yeah, because that's what that NFC East does. That's the NFC East mentality: is screw over your opponents.
Okay.
In whatever way possible. Because if the Philadelphia Eagles, who had a very hit or miss secondary last season, loses a piece of the secondary that was fairly decent, that'll make them worse, right? With their already existing quarterback problem. Yep. Not from talent, but from injury. The Giants are not on the trip here to make it to the playoffs next year. No. They're on a trip, they're on a warpath just to get slightly better and screw up the rest of their division.
Okay. So where do you have them falling in their division?
I have them making a move to second place in the division.
Ooh.
Who are
over the Eagles or Cowboys?
They're going to go second place over the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah, the Cowboys winning the division.
Over Carson Wentz, and you're having beat out Ron
Carson
Rivera?
Wentz
really
is going to get injured early in the season this year. They're going to be big upsetting. And unfortunately, Andy Dalton, as talked about being moved to the Eagles in last week's episode, will not be able to carry them.
Oh my God.
Therefore, the Giants, after plucking away a new hole into their defense, will be able to get the slight rise on them.
Interesting.
Going 7-9.
Okay.
That's going to be the Giants' record. The Eagles will go 6-10.
Where do the Redskins finish?
4-11.
You don't think Ron Rivera can
disrespect to Ron Rivera?
Ron Rivera's just going to try to get more draft picks.
That's well, yeah, but he already kind of has a younger roster.
He wants to get big piece.
What big piece?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not doing the Redskins. I'm doing the Giants.
Okay.
All right.
I don't. Just because I talked about every team in the NFC East doesn't mean that I'm fixing every team in the AFC East.
Or NFC. All right, here we go. Please be the Bears. Please be the Bears.
I need to find out how to make a video here. All right, this week's team that Noah will be fixing.
Please be the Bears.
Is
please
the
Carolina Panthers. Oh, that'll be interesting.
Carolina
okay,
Panthers.
all right. I'll figure out what I gotta do with Cameron.
All right.
That'll be all right.
Ship him to Chicago.
We'll have to see. You'll have to find out next week. Find out next week what I will do to the Panthers.
Yeah.
What I can do to make them contenders again.
That'll be very interesting.
Yeah, it will.
Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers.
And I'm going Carolina.
Yeah.
You guys don't know that song?
No.
Oh.
Sweet Carolina. Blah, blah, blah. That's about as close as it gets. So there's talks quarterbacks that possibly won't be on their team next year.
A lot of talks about
So,
quarterbacks.
got Phillip Rivers, Matthew Stafford. The Lions are looking into possibly getting rid of him. Lions are really looking to kind of scrap their team, actually.
Well, you kind of have to when you're rebuilding and you're.
Is Ben their GM?
Wow.
Ben Olsen secretly the Lions GM?
You never
Probably.
First overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft, Benjamin Olsen.
Yeah, you never know. Derek Carr is looking at possibly being moved down on. Jameis Winston. It's kind of shaky right now. What's going to happen? He did just get.
He just got LASIK eye surgery, so we'll go from 30-30 to 20-20.
He's going to be much better.
Dude, imagine throwing 30 touchdown passes and you could barely see.
Right? I think that shows that Jameis.
Well,
Winston
why do you
hasn't
think
gotten
Mike
better.
Evans was so good as a big receiver?
True.
Because he's big target.
He's able to see.
He's
able
like,
to see. He's like, all right, Mike, open your hands so I can see the blurry circles.
But that really makes
It really makes you wonder if Jameis Winston has not been that bad of a quarterback this whole time, but just couldn't see.
Like I'm trying to
yeah, like
y'all can't see, but we're trying to squint our eyes as if Jameis could barely see. And honestly, if I had guys coming at me, I wouldn't be able to see anybody either.
no, I can't even.
And yeah, that's tough.
I
Tough
can't
for
even see
Jameis.
that well 5 feet away.
Yeah,
because it's
tough.
all the movement is blurred.
Yeah,
so
that's tough for Jameis.
you can't even see the movement,
Yeah.
so you would get a step off with the receiver.
True, imagine I'm a defensive lineman. I'm just
Here at the SighSquad Pod, we think Jameis Winston just didn't have his eyes up to shape.
That's all it is.
I think that's all it is actually.
Well, I feel like the best part about him coming back, being able to actually see right, is he has Bruce Arians as his coach still. The
Possibly.
quarterback whisperer.
Possibly, you never know.
Awesome.
He could retire again, but I think Bruce Arians, if he sticks around, quarterback whisperer, we could make James famous again.
And there's Cam Newton and Tom Brady, of course. Where are they gonna go? Is Cam gonna be traded? So let's start with Phillip Rivers. Where do you think he will land? I am hearing that there are talks of him talking to the Colts. That would be very interesting.
I've heard the Colts. I don't think the Colts because I think they're going to go a different route. But we'll go to that. We'll get to that in a minute. I think Tampa because I think there's a reason he bought a house there. I think Tampa feel. I don't know. This just feels kind of Tampa. I can't.
Okay.
They have a solid foundation to work with. They have Bruce
Right.
Arians. Bruce Arians loves his veteran quarterbacks. Bruce Arians has done well with Carson Palmer.
True. That's
We saw that. We saw what he did,
Yep.
and they're very. When I say this, I mean this in I don't know. They seem very similar. They have some great assets on defense. Tampa does.
Mm-hmm.
They have weapons on offense. I mean, they have Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, who are both going to be a dual. They're probably going to go into the NFL as the best duo wide receiver combo in the NFL.
Right.
They don't really have much of a running game.
Good thing
Which,
Ethan's not here to be like Diggs and Thielen.
He was not even on that Diggs train.
yeah,
Oh, really?
true. But the only thing I worry about is with Phillip Rivers being as old as he is. Tampa does not have a running game. But I feel like Tampa's going to want to feel like they can get some stuff. They can get it done quicker if they get Phillip Rivers. I think Phillip Rivers has his heart set on Tampa. His family bought a house there. I think they're going to
always the draft.
There's always the draft. There's always a draft.
There's not a whole lot of teams that are going to be looking for first.
And that's the thing, because I do think Tampa will draft a quarterback. I think they're going to. I think that's another big thing of why they'll overpay for Phillip Rivers, because they're going to either A, overpay for Phillip Rivers and he ends up being decent and they end up becoming a playoff contender, or B, you have a guy like Justin Herbert or Jordan Love or whoever, or Nick Eason, the quarterback from Washington, might end up drafting a guy that they can develop under Phillip Rivers, who would be a really solid quarterback to learn under. I'm not obviously this year wasn't a great year, but Phillip Rivers would still be a great quarterback to learn from. So I think that's kind of the route Tampa go. I feel like Tampa they have pieces to be successful if they have Phillip Rivers in there, but I feel like it's a game plan to prepare for the future. But if, like Brendon said, Bruce Arians is the quarterback whisperer, so if anybody can make it work, it could be Bruce Arians. He made it work with Carson Palmer. Everyone said his career was done, so we'll have to see. But I think Tampa.
Yeah. Well, you think he's going to Tampa, then what do you think happens with Jameis?
I think he goes to okay, this is not what I'm gonna do. Spoiler for my thing. I think he's gonna go to Carolina.
Okay.
I think he's gonna go to Carolina because I don't think Tampa. I think Tampa's what moves on from him. I think Bruce Arians has said, if we can win with him, we can win with anybody. That's a shot at Jameis. I don't think he wants him there. I think Carolina with Matt Rule. Matt Rule is a big play guy. He's an offensive minded coach. He feels like he can, if he can keep Jameis within that division, he can get some intel, on his perspective of through Tampa. I think Matt Rule's going to want a guy who has a big arm. Jameis has a big arm.
Yeah.
That's no denying that.
True.
And I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be one of those weird moves that's not going to make sense for anybody, because Carolina realistically should be trying to rebuild. But I honestly believe that I think they're going to overpay for Jameis Winston.
Well, if they do, they still have, Kyle Allen and...
They do.
They would have then, potentially 3, potential starters on their roster.
Yeah.
Next year.
My shocking thought on this is I think Jameis Winston is going to end up on the Raiders. I think that the Patriots or somebody is going to take Brady. Brady's not going to go, even though that's all the speculation right now. They're going to offer him a $60 million 2-year deal. That's the same as a 1-year $30 million deal that Patriots are offering him anyways.
Yeah.
I think that Brady's not going to go to Vegas, and Vegas is going to be like, what do? We need a quarterback.
Right.
And they're going to go with Jameis Winston.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to draft a quarterback. Maybe. But
Vegas has Derek Carr.
No, I don't think Derek Carr is. They already said they're moving on from Derek Carr.
Right.
So
fair or not.
I think that's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But your top, you think you know where Jameis is going, Brendon?
I think, although Bruce Arians has taken shots at Jameis Winston, I think when Bruce Arians came out of retirement, he had that quarterback whisperer, mentality that everybody calls him because of what he's done with several different quarterbacks. I really think Bruce Arians is going to push to get Jameis back in Tampa.
Interesting.
I almost think that potentially you could see both Jameis Winston and Mr. Blanking on his name, Phillip Rivers.
Mr. Consistent.
Phillip Rivers.
He's never missed
both
a start.
on the same team.
That would be interesting.
I think they're going to try to do some job fights.
Cam Newton, do you think, where's he getting traded to? Or is he going to stay on the team?
No. They are going to shop him out. Carolina, I think, is going to try and go a different direction. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to trade Cam Newton with the direction to rebuild. But yeah, I still feel like they're gonna go out and try and get Jameis, keep something in the division, try and get a big arm quarterback. Where do they trade Cam Newton? It's so easy to say. Like initially, I would have said Chicago, but with that being said, they said they're not moving on from Trubisky, which I don't obviously agree with.
I agree with it wholeheartedly.
I do not
Keep that. He's a beast. Keep him.
I do not agree with it wholeheartedly.
Next 10 years.
I honestly don't know where Cam Newton could be traded, but one thing I think could be very interesting to think about is, New England might go for it if they don't re-sign Brady. Now, let's say Drew Brees decides to retire. They don't view Taysom Hill as a franchise quarterback, so he'll leave. Maybe New Orleans is going to need someone. Maybe, just maybe. With that offensive line, with those weapons and that coach, I think Cam could be successful. But, I mean, I could also see him staying with Carolina because they could just be like, screw it, let's just... But the problem, well, here's the thing, I don't know. Because the big thing is you're going to have to pay Cam. Cam's going to want a big contract, so it's going to be tough for who's going to want to actually, take on a huge contract like that. Maybe the Chargers panic and they try and trade for him if they don't
see that.
Maybe an injury happens with the Eagles.
Maybe an injury happens. Maybe.
It's
going to be interesting.
So my personal thought process with Cam Newton, I really feel like Carolina's going to sit steady on him and just play him this year.
Yeah.
And just let him walk next year after his contract's up. Because then he can go shop around free agency. It's not their problem. They may not gain anything from it, but I don't think a lot of teams are going to be in the buying market for him, trying to pay for it. Now, I feel like they're going to keep their ears open, if an injury happens and a playoff team is trying to remain relevant and have a quarterback.
Right.
But I feel like they're going to be like, no, we'll just keep him for now and move on.
Interesting.
The biggest question is Teddy Bridgewater still going to be in New Orleans?
No.
I don't think so. As much as I want him to be, I feel like he will move on to either the Bengals or the Bears. Because I think that they're the teams that are willing to take the risk on him.
Wait a second. So if Tom Brady somehow ends up in Oakland, right? Oakland moves on from Derek Carr. Do you know who would love Derek Carr?
No,
Bill Belichick.
Oh my God, are you right?
Well, we got some breaking news here.
Ooh.
As the Canucks have landed Tyler Toffoli.
Oh.
From the Kings.
Oh shoot.
Interesting.
Toffoli's been
Vancouver trying to say, hey, don't sleep on us.
Well, Vancouver has only gone down a little bit.
Well, they were first in the Pacific last I checked, weren't they? That was a few days ago. They could have lost a game.
I thought they were second now, but I will fact check myself. They are second in the Pacific because Edmonton's been on the climb.
Good shit.
Because Connor McJesus. Duh.
Yeah. True.
But Toffoli offers them a really good rotation because if they put Toffoli in on a second or
right,
Toffoli would realistically go on their second line, but
yeah,
that makes their second line pretty damn strong.
Huh.
Also, I'd just like to say we said this at 7:05 p.m. on 2/17/2020, which is before Bleacher Report and ESPN have reported on it.
Yes, exactly.
And there's Bleacher Report. So you just had to. So follow the SighSquad Pod on all your social medias because we break news before the news breakers, guys. But you're saying... What were you saying now, Brendon?
Toffoli will be a good addition for Vancouver, and it honestly could, give them some... He might be the talent that they need to help them edge out some of their competition. But Dallas and St. Louis are really strong. Colorado's been on the up again.
Go Avalanche.
But they did lose to the first hat trick outdoors in NHL history.
I saw that. That was interesting to see.
Those jerseys, I don't like either of the teams, but those jerseys were nice.
I always think jerseys, there's a lot of nice jerseys coming about in those type of games.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's an interesting trade.
Back to football here. Derek Carr, I don't think he's going to... This is going to be a hot take. I don't think he's going to be in the league next year. Signed to a team in the league next year.
Think he's going to the XFL? Play for the New York Guardians?
He's not taking that money. I think he's going to be a free agent going into next season. Now, that I'm not saying that I don't think he's going to get signed during the season.
I think definitely he's going to get signed. I think Derek Carr's a solid quarterback. He's a solid quarterback.
He's a solid quarterback.
Yeah,
I just
but
don't think...
if you put him on a contender, you have a chance.
Who's talked about him going to a team? There hasn't been any talk of a team.
Yeah, because they're waiting on what the Raiders are gonna do, because the Raiders are banking on trying to get Tom Brady. No, someone will definitely sign Derek Carr.
I don't know.
Definitely.
Just my opinion. Also, I have an altered opinion on Derek Carr, I guess.
I guess.
But I still like Derek Carr. I mean, I think he's definitely a solid quarterback. He's, sadly, as I'm gonna say this, he's better than Mitch Trubisky.
He definitely is.
And he's better than Andy Dalton.
Definitely
and
is.
He's probably better than Matt Ryan.
This year, I mean...
As Matt
Ryan did not have a good year this year, but I would still take Matt Ryan over Derek Carr.
That makes one of them.
There you go. So there's our thoughts on that.
And plus, Matt Ryan, if Matt Ryan has any injury that makes him out for any extended amount of time, I feel like Matt Ryan's going to hang up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who we forgot about for, potentially being in the market of quarterbacks?
Who?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger, because he said he's coming back.
Yeah, no, he'll come back. Pittsburgh didn't wait it out. They're going to wait one more year, I think. That's what I think is going to happen.
But what if he gets injured again?
Well, then
he'll shop. Then they'll shop.
No, I still don't think they should, because I think you can look at what you did this year. You nearly made the playoffs with Rudolph and Doug Hodges.
They're not going to contend with those players because they barely.
Why their defense is still young? Why not just be crappy for another year and get a good first round draft pick if that happens?
Because their defense is so good. If they have a good quarterback, they could potentially. Make a run for the trophy.
Yeah.
Duncan showed me some news that was very startling.
What was the news?
It's interesting. Philadelphia has registered for a domain name for the XFL.
Ooh, let's go!
XFL team. Not saying I don't like it.
I do like it.
That'd be nice.
I love it.
But I just don't want their team to be good at all, because then people will be eating horse poop.
That's okay.
Yeah, I love that. Good for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But what quarterback are we on now?
We are on Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. I think he is going to stay with the Raiders. Because I don't think the Raiders are going to get Tom Brady. So therefore they're going to stick with their guns, stick with the guy who knows their system, and they're going to stick with Derek Carr. I think that's just what it comes down to, is them not getting Tom Brady. But that is just my prediction.
Tom Brady, might as well talk about him. Think
Tom
he's ended
Brady is going back to Foxborough.
I think so too.
I sadly also think so.
I
like how he's playing his cards.
I know. I love it. It's a fun tease. It's a fun little thing. But he's going to stay in New England. I think New England's going to get him some help.
I think the biggest thing is literally his Super Bowl commercial. Like, everybody was like, damn, Tom's going to be out of here. He's gone. And then that Super Bowl commercial.
I'm not going anywhere.
Well, as for me, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, no. He'll sign with New England. The Patriots are going to get AJ Green, and that'll be the end of it. So.
Enough said.
Yeah,
the Patriots might get AJ Green. They might get Robbie Anderson.
Andy Dalton. Do you think he's going to stay on the...
Yes, I think the Bengals should suck it up for one more year and let Joe Burrow learn the offense. Because that is what you should do with your rookie quarterbacks. That's what I think the Chargers are going to do. I think the Chargers are going to suck it up. They said they're confident with Tyrod Taylor.
Right, they did.
So what I think they're going to do is they're going to start Tyrod Taylor, draft Justin Herbert, or I guess whoever Justin Herbert. They'll draft a quarterback, I think. And they'll just let that quarterback
You can't necessarily say it's Justin Herbert this
You
time.
can,
Because you can say it's Joe Burrow with the Bengals, but...
Well, I just mean they'll draft a quarterback, whether it's Nick Eason, whether it is, whether it is Jordan Love or...
Do you think that they would love Jordan Love?
I think I talked about Jordan Love last week. Go to the archives. But yeah, so I think that's what's going to happen with that. What other quarterbacks are on there?
We have... Matthew Stafford.
Yes, because this is the big one. I think the Colts trade for Matthew Stafford. I think he goes to the Colts. I think that makes so incredibly much sense for the Indianapolis Colts. Because the Lions are just looking for hella draft picks. The Colts are looking for hella players to contend. What do the Colts have? A lot of cap space. What does Matt Stafford have? A big contract. Instead of the Colts trying to risk and sign or draft a quarterback, whatever you got to do, why not just go out, get a first sure thing in Matthew Stafford? You give Matt Stafford that offensive line, T.Y. Hilton, Eric Ebron,
I really like
Paris Campbell, with that defense, that's going to be solid. The Colts are Super Bowl contenders if they do that.
there is only a slight problem with this.
What?
Eric Ebron and Matt Stafford butt heads.
So they have Mark Wright, who is a dog of a coach. And what if he does make it work? He has Jack Doyle. I'm just saying Eric Ebron because Eric Ebron is a solid weapon. But if that doesn't work out, perfect. They can ship him, get a draft picks, and then they have Jack Doyle. Perfect. Simple as that. Patriots need a tight end. Take a first round draft pick.
Patriots 8 draft picks and need a tight end.
Exactly. So go trade Eric Ebron if it's that big of a deal. Because if the Colts were to get Matthew Stafford, if the Colts were to get Matthew Stafford, first off, Matt Stafford would finally have the team he deserves, like straight up. And the Colts would be Super Bowl contenders. Instantly. So that's what I think they should do. I think it makes way too much sense for the Colts not to try and go get Matt Stafford.
It's true.
So.
We got any other quarterbacks that we think are going
to... What's going to happen with Drew Brees?
I think he's re-signing. I think he has 2 more years left in him.
I think he's got 1 more. I think this is his last year. I think this is his last year in the league. I think it's Super Bowl or bust for him. That's what I think.
So, let's see. Why am I blanking?
Taysom Hill.
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacob Brisket.
Is Jacob Brisket going to end up anywhere?
I think he's going to stay on the Colts as a backup, or he'll compete for it.
Well, yeah, I think he'll either be a backup, or I think he's just going to end up going to a crappy team and they start they'll just go to like a crappy team like the Dolphins or something stupid while they're rebuilding. Sad for Jacoby Brissett, but that's what I think is going to happen.
I think Dolphins love what they have with Josh Rosen, though.
Well, no, because they're going to draft Tua.
No, I know, but
they're
still going.
I feel like for the next year.
I was just saying the first crappy team that came to my head. But.
Right, makes sense.
How long does Cleveland still have Baker for?
A couple
2
years.
2 years, I believe.
2 years. I think he's gonna be dog crap this year.
He's gonna end up in the XFL, guys.
He just might on the pace that he's on.
Cleveland's gonna get an XFL team. He's gonna be the first guy, so Cleveland can just keep being disappointed.
Right, and then Cleveland will again have to go get another quarterback.
Yeah.
Sad days.
Maybe Philadelphia will get Johnny Manziel.
Hey.
Ooh.
That'd be interesting. Johnny Manziel. So originally Vince McMahon was like, we ain't nobody who been arrested. We ain't taking nobody bad, right?
Right.
But then I think now he's more open to, cause he got those guys, right? You got Tom Landry. Yeah.
What?
Landry Jones. You got Landry Jones.
Tom Landry, the old Cowboys head coach.
What am I thinking of? He got the guy in New York, Matt McGloin. He got those guys that haven't really, they haven't done anything bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Vince McMahon wants to spike the ratings more, not saying the ratings are bad, the ratings are pretty damn good.
Yeah, but if you really want to
spike it, you take your option on Johnny Manziel. They tried to take it with Cap, but Cap was like, you gotta pay me. And it's the XFL, it's not.
Right, like they're just trying to get started. Yeah, imagine being Colin Kaepernick and thinking that you can
get paid 20 mil
from an
when the other guys are
minor
getting
league
like
football team.
$250,000 maybe.
Imagine.
But yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Is there like a salary cap in the XFL?
I don't want to. They all get paid the same.
Oh really?
On the same base.
That's
to start out, anyways. I think that there will definitely be changes as the league evolves, but it kind of all starts out with.
Well, that would make sense why there would be so much like kind of some rapid like shifts right away. Because if they're making the same amount, get them off my team.
Right.
If they're not producing, granted, I feel like the Wildcats are trying to tank for whatever draft XFL is gonna do, but
yeah, whatever.
I'm curious to see how that works. Actually,
how that's gonna actually play out. I also agree with you. That should be a good time.
Because is it gonna be like the guys who don't get drafted?
Right. No, like that's what I'm saying. Like, is the guys who don't get drafted, or is it like I don't know? Maybe who knows? Maybe could you imagine if like a high profile like player was just like, nah, I want to play for the XFL, not the NFL.
I love that.
It will never ever happen. Because if you're gonna play in the NFL, you go for it. But that'd be
or
so
some
crazy.
of these guys that are like 7th round possibles go to the XFL for a year.
Yeah.
Boost your draft stock tremendously.
True.
and re-enter the draft. But the only problem is if you enter the draft older, you lose some pointy points at your draft stock.
Right, but if your draft stock's low to begin with, you go to XFL for 1 year.
Maybe you can go from a seventh to like a
fifth.
fourth. Yeah, fifth.
Yeah,
fourth, fifth.
Therefore, that's a few more $1,000 in your wallet.
Yeah.
Interesting. Seems interesting.
I like to see what's going on there.
Yeah.
But
sports.
It's time for pick a prospect because we were talking about the draft.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll go first. This week we have my boy Thaddeus Moss. You may know him as the son of Randy Moss.
Or is Randy Moss the dad of Thaddeus Moss?
I think that Randy Moss is still the son, or Thaddeus is still the son of Randy.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's not been in the NFL breaking records yet.
That's true. So Thaddeus Moss is tight end. He's 21 years old. As I mentioned, he's Randy Moss's son, not the other way around. And he set an
Randy Moss isn't his son?
Right. He set the LSU record for a tight end this last year here. And he set another record in the championship game. His season it was really good for a tight end on LSU, but it wasn't like necessarily like
considering when Joe Burrow was your quarterback.
It's not necessarily like, oh my God, he's the next
Thaddeus Moss,
greatest.
Whoa. He's gonna be just like his dad.
Yeah, I mean they're saying that too. Anyways, but I don't know if he had 570 yards and 4 touchdowns during the regular season. He did average 12.1 per.
He did have a touchdown in the national championship.
I think he had 2. Because he broke the record for tight end. Yeah, the LSU record, anyways.
That's awesome.
But LSU doesn't like tight ends, obviously, is what that's telling me.
But yeah, pretty much. They're not a school much rich in tight end history.
Right. So there's a lot of speculation about him. He should have gone back to LSU for another year, as he was a junior. But he decided he's going to go to the NFL.
Yeah,
let's see how it works.
If you feel like your stock can't get any higher, then go for it.
So he's 6'3", 249 pounds.
Wow.
He's a big guy.
Brick.
Yep.
A brick wall.
You can compare him to Rob Gronkowski if you want.
So Gronk is like the same weight, but 3 inches taller?
Yeah.
Dang.
But, so some of his strengths is he's a really physical player. He likes physicality.
Yeah.
Some guys pull away from that. He pulls into it. He's like, hit me, or I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
He likes it. He's really good with controlling his body. Like whether he's going in, he's toe tipping, or he's just keeping the ball from getting knocked out or something. He's really good at that. I think he's really good at catching, actually, for a tight end especially. But some of his weaknesses, he's not that great at running routes.
Ooh.
So
how's he at blocking?
He's decent at blocking, but he's kind of like spotty at times.
That's tough.
Like he doesn't like. He's kind of like what do you call it? His motor is like inconsistent.
Ooh,
but so that kind of sucks. But I mean, he
also has name value.
Right, and as you move on, it might change. He's not as athletic as some would like him to be for the draft.
Yeah.
That's the big thing with all the scouts. This is the athleticism they don't like, but I mean, he's Randy Moss's son. You might as well just draft him anyways. Get a couple extra tickets, but
there you go. And you instantly get Randy Moss's support.
Right, and he's somewhat unknown as you may know his name, but he hasn't done all that much to make him.
Right, like, hey, look at me,
out.
I'm Thaddeus Moss.
Right. Oh, you're Randy Moss's son.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like as you started out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to change the stigma of, oh, you're Randy's son.
Right. So where is he going? I think he's either going to go to the Patriots, the Bears, or the Seahawks.
Interesting.
Early. If he falls, which he could very easily do at this point, I think that he could go to either the Carolina Panthers or just a shot in the dark, the Colts. I don't think he will go to the Colts, but just like a dark horse team to watch out for because the Colts are kind of like looking at whoever. So, Thaddeus Moss. I do not think he'll go in the first round though.
Yeah.
I think he's a good second, third, maybe fourth round guy.
Okay.
I wouldn't go early second, but if you want to take a shot for him, you might as. If that's really your guy, go for him. But
like if he's one of those things, like if you're sitting in like the fifth round, you're just like, oh,
if he's there, I mean that would be a steal.
Right.
If he's there in the middle of the fifth, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Brendon, can you go next? I have to look up one more thing for my boy.
Sure, I can go next.
Sweet.
I kind of already alluded to the fact that I'd be talking about this individual. But, I gotta find my sheet here. Mr. Shane Lemieux, left guard from Oregon. Which, hey, Noah, that Minnesota-Oregon game, who won?
The Minnesota-Oregon game?
Yeah.
For what?
Like that towards the end of the year?
Minnesota did not win, right?
No, Oregon won.
Oregon won.
Oregon won. Do you know why they won? Because of good blocking. Because that's all that wins football.
Oregon played Minnesota in football this year.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
Get talked to.
No.
Oh no, I'm thinking. No, never mind. Oregon played Wisconsin.
Get fact checked, brother.
No, that's what I messed up.
Yep. No,
I got my W's and my M's mixed around.
So they are pretty close to each other. So
I got wow mixed with mom there. That's kind of sad.
Wildness.
Oops.
Wild.
Well, see, you know why I let dumb stuff like that slip out of my mouth though?
Why?
I didn't have somebody as good as Shane Lemieux blocking for me.
I mean, I guess.
So funny.
Oh
my god. Funniest
so
guy I've ever met
anyways,
right there.
Shane Lemieux is 6'4", 316 pounds.
Big motherfucker.
He could be bigger, but
big motherfucker.
He plays kind of very athletic.
For
his size,
right?
He does have some zip to him. He is more of a run blocking guard. He had an average grade of 84 on that.
That's a nice B.
Nice B.
Nice B.
He is a later prospect. You will see him sitting in that 200 to 220 range. So
nice. So he's making it, but he's not.
It's like what, Fifth round?
Fifth round, yeah.
Fifth round. I wanted to be deep.
He's making it, but he's not.
I wanted to make sure that I was extra deep in my prospects because this guy is somebody that people should know about because I feel like he could.
Right, you think he
with
should be
right
known about.
with right coaching and stuff, he could be a good asset to any team. And with him going so late, the teams that he can go to is kind of endless.
Oh.
He can go to any of the 32 teams.
I see what you did there. Less research for you. Don't go anywhere.
They can go anywhere. Anywhere.
Well, I also have some specific examples that would be good fits for it. But, so in watching tape, the biggest thing he does need to work on is finesse moves. Kind of
finesse.
What did you
finesse?
What words just came out of your mouth? Did you really just say finesse like it was like we wouldn't notice?
Finesse. Finesse, buddy.
I didn't sleep a lot last night.
That's a bad excuse.
I'm tired.
Minnesota and Oregon. Finesse.
Man, Brendon, this is I think your draft stock is dropping about fourth, fifth round right now.
Anyways, where is he going? His finesse.
Well, so his finesse, he can get 8 by the finesse move pretty easily.
All right.
But he does really well in his vision, like when it comes to blocking.
Yeah.
He knows who to pick up, which is I think a big skill that a lot of people don't think about. Because like, all right, we're double teaming this guy. He's been bothering us. That guy just slipped off a different double team. Yeet.
Right.
Pick him up. His pass blocking is solid, but he only had his longest streak was 5 games in a row in which he had above that 80 threshold, which is unfortunate. So you may not want him to more so protect your quarterback, but if you have a really good running game that needs to be broken out, like the New York Giants.
Oh, full circle. Oh my goodness.
He would be a good asset. Other teams that I think could use him is Bengals can use anybody at O-line that's better than who they have when they don't have much. Like honestly, if they could just like paint like planks of wood with faces on it and have them play O-line, their O-line would be 10 times better.
That's true.
That's how bad Cincinnati's O-line is. So
not good.
Pick up a guy like Shane Lemieux.
You're solid. You're
solid.
Cooking.
Shoot, I had one more team. There's blue. Oh my god. Well, Seattle could always use another piece to that O-line because it still seems pretty thin. I feel like Russell Wilson still is just dancing.
That's right.
So that would be a good spot.
We do have one of the worst offensive lines in the league.
Yep. Cleveland always could use some support for Nick Chubb.
Okay.
So I think that's where I'm at.
What about the Broncos?
Broncos are trying to tank anyways.
Broncos are not trying to tank.
Broncos feel like they can be contender. Like they can be a sneaky dark horse next
Everybody
year.
thinks the Broncos are the dark horse next year, from what I see.
Oh yeah, Drew. Well, and they're probably gonna trade for Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
We're on the rumor mill. Getting his help for Drew Lock.
I wouldn't be too mad about that at all.
Stop.
Think about it. Cortland Sutton, CeeDee Lamb, and Stephon Diggs.
Ooh.
Name a better wide receiver trio.
But what are they gonna have to trade to get?
Draft picks? Vikings really need draft picks.
No, that's fair. Never mind. Yeah.
No. Or we could throw Chris Harris out of.
What? Why would you want to get Chris Harris?
He wants too much money. He wants way too much money.
Yeah. And the Vikings do like to overpay people.
And they do.
And they need a corner.
They need a DB.
They have that veteran presence.
Literally,
think about it.
Made in heaven.
It really is. I hope. Let's talk into existence.
Stephon Diggs to the Broncos.
I like that.
But yeah, no. Probably gonna go somewhere in the 5th round. If you watch the whole draft, you'll see him get drafted, and you'll be like, hey, I remember Brendon mentioning that guy.
Talked about that guy
when he must have been on something because he could not.
Look at those finesse moves.
Whoa, that finesse.
The finesse.
Hey man, I've been dripping in finesse. Have you not seen my outfit today?
The finesse. You're not dripping. You're not even dripping in the fake word of finesse. Finesse.
But you were the one that complimented my outfit today and gave me this fake confidence with my outfit.
Yeah, until you said the word finesse.
Okay. Noah, who do you got here?
A break to cry here.
I've got. I'm gonna keep it local here. I'm gonna keep it with Tyler Johnson, a guy that I was able to watch a lot, so I already kind of know a lot about him.
I like it.
Tyler Johnson, wide receiver from the University of Minnesota, was elected as an All-American this year. Was the Outback Bowl most valuable player. Had a couple touchdown passes in that game. Tyler Johnson has always been a very solid receiver. He is a kind of a built dude. Like he's 200 and I think he's 210 plus pounds. He is 6'2", so he's got some decent size to him. He is an incredible route runner. Honestly, probably one of the better route runners in this draft that no one's really talking about. I think he has the ability to kind of, wherever the ball is, as long as he has his hands near the vicinity, has a chance to go get it. My only concern with him is he is not agile. He's not going to blow you away at the combine. He's not super strong. He's not super quick. So that'll hurt his draft stock just because I don't think he's going to perform that well at the combine just because he's not a freakish athlete. He's just a guy who is capable of just getting the ball wherever it is. His route running is going to do so well for him. The problem is I wonder too in the NFL when you go man coverage and you play press defense, that's where he's all struggled too because he's not quick enough to get that first step on him and try and make a move. He's just going to have to rely on route running and, he has one of the most surefire hands in college. I see him more as a potential second rounder. I see his ceiling is second. His basement's probably fourth. Like he is a second or fourth round pick. He's going to be one of the top receivers in this class. And that no one's even one of the most underrated players in the draft period. I can see him going to a team like even Denver who needs a wide receiver. I can see him going to the Jets who could maybe need a replacement for Robbie Anderson or just another receiver, or even Jacksonville to give help for Nick Foles or Minshew, whoever they decide to start. I think they're going to need a guy who just is going to be able to create separation, a guy who is going to be able to just catch the football, help their young quarterbacks, whoever that may be. So Tyler Johnson is going to be a sleeper. In a class that's stacked with wide receivers, Tyler Johnson could be one of those guys where he's like, hey, Tyler Johnson's a solid second, third receiver. So
that's hard to watch.
That's going to be tough. So, yeah, prayers out to Ryan Newman.
Yeah. Man. On a more
lighthearted note.
No. It's time for the Hall of Fame.
The Hall
of Fame nominees of 2020 on the SighSquad Podcast.
I can't believe Pete Rose didn't get a single vote. We all are nuts.
Can you believe that? Reggie Miller got the dub disrespectfully this week over Derrick Rose.
Try again. You said Reggie Miller.
I knew what you meant.
Whatever I'm on, apparently
he's passing the coronavirus on, guys.
Are you getting a contact high from whatever I'm apparently on?
Yeah, getting a contact high here. But yeah, HBK, Derrick Rose, and Pete Rose all lost this week. They can all be nominated once more if you really are high on them, but they will probably not be seen. So, congrats to the winner. You can say his name. I forgot. Reggie White. Congrats to the winner, Reggie White.
He's way better. He was super good on them Eagles.
Hey.
This week, I'm gonna present to you who I think should be nominated. All right. So this man has been on one team his whole career. He is a 3-time NBA champion, a 5-time All-Star, a 2-time third team, an NBA All-Defensive second team player, the 3-point contest champion at one point, the All-Rookie first team in his rookie year, 2 first team Pac-10s, and his number has been retired by his college. He's also a one-time gold medalist, a World Cup winner, and a U19 championship winner. He went to Washington State, guys. Can you guys guess who it is?
It is your boy, one half of the Splash Brothers.
There you go.
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson deserves to be in the SighSquad Pod Hall of Fame, not only for his commitment to his team of the Golden State Warriors, but the team is not the same without him.
That is fair.
He is a player which is not talked about enough. I'd say he's one of the most underrated players in the NBA. He doesn't get what he deserves, and I think he deserves to be in our Hall of Fame, so that's why I am nominating him.
Nice.
He has tons of statistics. I'm not going to go through them, but they're all good, guys. None of them are bad. Promise you. He's a very consistent player. He's 84% from the free throw line. At the AllStar game, you know what the percentage from the free throw line was? Wasn't even 50%. He's better than all the All-Stars combined.
It's almost like he is his own All-Star.
That's what I'm saying.
It's almost like Klay Thompson is the best. And it's almost like he should be in a Hall of Fame of some kind.
Yeah, that's why I'm nominating him for our Hall of Fame. The next guy we're going to nominate is Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout. We're gonna nominate Mike Trout.
Why'd you hesitate on Mike Trout?
Well, because see, we're not in a. What? So as you guys know, Ben and Ethan are gone this week. There are 5 of us, but 4 possible selections to vote on. So we had to kick one out, and we're kicking out Ray Lewis because he murdered somebody.
Hey, stop it!
We're murdering his chances to end up in our Hall of Fame because he's a murderer.
Yeah, Mike Trout. Ethan didn't put any reasons, so we're not going to put any reasons. He's just a great baseball player.
Yeah, well, he also just got paid, signed a contract worth $300 million.
That's true.
We reported on it.
Yeah, so he doesn't deserve the Hall of Fame. He just got paid all that money.
So are we cutting both of them?
Klay, no, he's on the list. He's just not going to get voted for.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, well, I think that, I feel really bad that Ovechkin kind of got chopped last week.
Chopped.
And I felt like it was very sad that he did. But I want to talk about one of his teammates, actually. TJ Oshie. Fun fact about TJ Oshie, we are out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. He played for the local hockey team, the Sioux Falls Stampede, way back in the day. And then he went to the NHL. He played for the St. Louis Blues, which I hated him on there, but I still appreciated his talent. And now he plays on the Washington Capitals and was a main supporting character in their cup run. Plus, everybody also remembers when he did the game winner against Russia. So
In Sochi, Russia.
In Sochi.
In hostile territory. Quite literally.
So I think it's funny that he played for America's team and then now he plays for the American themed hockey team in the NHL.
Oh yeah.
And he beat the Russians, but now he plays with
a Russian.
The
probably the best Russian.
In Alexander Ovechkin. But I think TJ Oshie is awesome and he would be amazing in our Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Is my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, guys. I'm going to put some respect on this woman's name. That is right. We are throwing women in this because
women are equal.
Women athletes are awesome. I love women athletes, and this is probably the best of them all. This woman is a two-time FIFA Women's World Cup winner, captain of the women's national team, was voted the best player in the world, the women's Ballon d'Or.
Whoa. Are we talking about my spirit animal?
Your spirit... I guess I didn't know she was. Yeah, your spirit animal was voted the best player in the Women's World Cup this last year. She has overcome a lot of adversity. She performed under immense pressure, a lot of personal backlash of stuff she said about politics. Still went out there every single game in the Women's World Cup. Has had so many clutch moments. Could easily be a 3-time winner of the Women's World Cup. She's probably one of the best women's soccer players ever produced, not only in America, but ever. I'm talking about Megan Rapinoe. Megan Rapinoe is an animal. She's a beast. She's so creative with the ball. She's a natural scorer. She's a natural leader. She's just a natural talent. And it's crazy because I remember where she was in her first World Cup to where she is now when they lost to Japan, when Abby Wambach was the best player on that team. To see her progress through these now 8 years since then has been crazy. And it's crazy that she is now a women's Ballon d'Or winner, which is the best player in the world. It is just crazy the growth that she has been, and I think she is worthy of the SighSquad Hall of Fame. Megan Rapinoe. Shout out to Megan Rapinoe.
Did I ever tell you about the Rapinoe is my spirit animal t-shirt?
You did not.
Oh. Yeah, a guy came into Lids wearing that, and I had actually said it, I think on the pod.
He did say it on the podcast.
Yeah, if you go back in the archives. I said on the pod that Megan Rapinoe is my spirit animal, and then the next week, a guy was wearing that t-shirt.
Megan Rapinoe is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
probably gonna be unanimous. What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for Megan.
For Megan Rapinoe.
Or for Klay Thompson.
Yeah, hate to bring it to you, Brendon, but no one's gonna vote for TJ Oshie.
Yeah.
Unless we got some Caps fans out there. Shout out to the Caps.
You never know. But yeah.
I think that's it.
That's it for this week, guys. Thanks for listening. Next week will be us three again. Plus.
Will it be us three again next week?
Yep.
Ben will join us.
Ben will probably be joining us next week.
Yeah.
So can't wait to talk to you guys again. Make sure
it's gonna be good.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Hopefully, I'm not gonna be on whatever dumb shit I was on this week.
Make sure you're following us on social media at SighSquadPod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as the NHL trade deadline is approaching. More and more trades will be happening.
Yeah.
And we'll be breaking them all. So make sure you're following for that.
Yeah, make sure to tune. Yeah, just make sure to tune in. XFL Week 3 for next week. Yeah. I'm gonna fix the Carolina Panthers. So if you're a Panthers fan, you're gonna want to tune into that because I got some interesting stuff that's already been going through my head.
Oh.
So y'all are gonna want to tune in for that. Ooh.
So we'll see you next week on the SighSquad Podcast. I'm Duncan.
I'm Noah.
Oh.
Brendon, finish your way into this.
I cannot finish my way into this.